I'm sure one of the most common questions you receive is how much does dry ice blasting cost?
Yes, that is one of the most common questions we receive. Usually it's a twofold question. A, the first question is usually, will dry ice blasting work in my project? And then B, how much will dry ice blasting cost? I wish there was a lock, stock, and barrel answer to both phases of that question, but there's not. Every job is completely different. As far as cost goes, there's many factors that go into that answer. The location of the project, the type of contaminant we're trying to clean at your project. The rate of removal is different on every job. How much ice will we need to take care of your project? How much time are we going to need to take care of your project? There's so many factors that go into it. There's no common answer. That being said, I can tell you that dry ice blasting on average is about 3 times more expensive than power washing. One thing potential clients need to keep in mind regarding the cost of dry ice blasting is that we solve a lot of their other problems. In most cases, there's no disassembly of a machine needed to be done for dry ice cleaning. There's very little downtime. In some cases, we can clean a machine while it's still running. So that's a huge factor in your cost savings as opposed to power washing or hand cleaning or things like that. We've literally gone onto projects and cleaned a project in a matter of hours where traditional methods can take days and much more manpower to do. So dry ice blasting might seem like an expensive way to do things, but when you factor in the whole picture, 9 times out of 10, it's actually a less expensive way to clean something.
Dry ice blasting is such a unique cleaning method. I don't think a lot of people are aware what it does or how it works. So can you explain, how does dry ice work?
Sure, there's a lot of science involved with dry ice blasting. First of all, you need a big air source because dry ice is propelled at a very high rate of speed with pressurized air. The basic science of it is that dry ice is so cold, it's 109 degrees below zero. When dry ice strikes a surface, there's something called thermal shock. It gets the surface and the contaminant so cold so quickly that there's a debonding process. The contaminant gets brittle and it wants to lose its adhesion to what it's stuck to. As a resulting rice-sized pellets of dry ice are striking the surface at that high rate of speed, there's an awful lot of kinetic energy being transferred to that surface. So in essence, your contaminant cracks, it starts to fail. As the resulting pellets are still hitting it, those pellets are getting underneath the surface of that contaminant, exploding or sublimating, increasing their mass by about 800 times. So there's a lot of little micro explosions and kinetic energy being transferred to the surface, and that's what strips the contaminant off of the surface that we're cleaning. We receive a lot of calls asking about whether or not dry ice blasting is an effective form for paint removal. The answer to that is kind of a yes and no. If you're looking to paint prep a surface that's going to be recoated or repainted, usually dry ice blasting is very effective. It'll take off the loose paint, leave you a nice clean surface, a nice bondable surface for a new coating to adhere to. Dry ice blasting is non-abrasive. It's a soft blast media. Where on a hardness scale, a diamond would be a 10, dry ice is only a 2, so it's a soft blast material. Sometimes if a surface needs to be stripped down to its bare form, we now have the capability where we can add dry ice and a grit media together to do that. Where dry ice by itself would struggle, because it is soft, we can add a crushed glass or a garnet or something like that and strip a surface down to its bare form. We find that that happens a lot when we're restoring old cars. People want to be able to strip that down to its bare form. Dry ice by itself struggles with that. Grit media by itself would get the surface too hot and warp the metal. So we've got the best of both worlds. We can use dry ice and a grit media. The dry ice keeps that metal cool so it doesn't warp. The grit media will strip that metal down to its bare form. So it's the best of both worlds.
Mine is the Army base, where we've seen all the tanks and the APCs and modern and old military vehicles that were in service and currently not. That was a dope job to be on because it showed me where dry ice can take us, in different locations we can go.
Well, one of the unique jobs I've been on was the Detroit Salt Company. We did their conveyor belt. It drops a cart all the way down to the bottom of the mine. It helps bring up either guys or equipment, and that was a pretty cool job, just experiencing how they do things there.
I like dry ice blasting just based on the different industries we go into, and we clean and we get to see and meet people, and that's really a dope experience with dry ice blasting. And dry ice blasting is a better career than my last one.
What I like about it is helping the customer with their problems. I like the fact of taking something dirty and making it clean and knowing that I did it. I took the time and the effort to make your problem go away with our solution. That's what I like about it.
What is the reaction that you get from people when you tell them that you're a dry ice blaster?
Well, at first they're shocked. They're kind of like, you use dry ice? What is that? And I explain to them what we do, and then they just get more intrigued, ask more questions, and then I just let them know it's a lot better way to clean things versus grit media. A lot less cleanup with the ice. The ice turns right into a gas. You're good to go. All you got to do is clean up whatever you're taking off. That's what I get out of people asking me.
For someone who wants to do it themselves, what is all involved as far as training and equipment that is needed?
The equipment and training that's needed in the process of dry ice cleaning is a compressor. You need your blast machine, you need dry ice, you need scoops to get the dry ice out of it, you need the air hoses to hook up to the machines and the compressors, you need the whip checks for the air hoses so they don't blast off and hit somebody.
Nozzles.
You need the nozzles, guns. There's a variety of different equipment that you would need, and trying to do it yourself would not be practical. There's a couple of different trainings you need to be proficient in dry ice blasting. Some are lead training, respiratory training, so you know how to properly use a full face and how to check your seal with your full face.
Asbestos training.
Yes, asbestos training, HAZWOPER, because we do go into warehouses and different locations where they have chemicals or hazardous particulates that are in the air.
Confined space training.
Yes.
You definitely get in a lot of tight little spaces.
And all of those will make you beautiful workers.
At Dry Ice Works, based right here in Southfield, Michigan, just outside of Detroit, most of our work is industrial machinery cleaning. We go into a lot of the auto suppliers and clean stamping presses and weld cells, injection molds, robots, conveyor lines, all kinds of things that need to be cleaned but shouldn't be cleaned with water. We also do some fire restoration. We do some work in the asphalt industry, cement industry, food and beverage industry. We're expanding rapidly into that segment. There's just all kinds of things that we can clean with dry ice. Cleaning with dry ice has a lot of benefits over grit media blasting. There's no secondary waste stream created. There's no sand, glass, walnut shell, things that are going to be contaminated and added to the waste stream. We don't have that with dry ice blasting.